Welcome to the Comedian's Paradise. This is a podcast where we speak to mavericks across the comedy world. Now, today's guest will kick the shit out of you for not laughing at his joke. I'm joking.
I never would.
But his name is Sam Diplock. He's a guy who's been in MMA. He's a guy who's a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu black belt. And he's a guy who is smashing comedy gigs across the country. Please welcome Sam Diplock.
Hey, what's up, man? And hey, I would never beat the crap out of someone for not laughing at my jokes. I'm only 5'6", so the best I'll do is kick you in the shins. That's all I can aim for. Kick you in the leg and run away going, my bad. So yeah, don't worry, I've never been hitting someone for not laughing at my jokes. Otherwise, I had to make a really bad joke about my missus not laughing at my jokes there, but I'll stop myself there.
But it's funny that I made that joke about you. I think most of the times when someone's training a proper martial arts, that they're mostly the least likely to attack you. But I did see Dustin Poirier and there is Conor McGregor.
Oh, I know, right? Oh, well, I mean, Conor's one of the as a person is one of the biggest pieces of shit on the planet, isn't he? Really, like the allegations against him, and then the video CCTV footage of him hitting the old man for not drinking his whiskey. You can't really, you know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, I don't think he's a good representation. The Dustin Poirier drunk one is also wild. Can we blame being drunk on everything, though? That's the reason, I like a drink, but it doesn't mean I try to scrap people when I'm out drunk. I just want to dance and boogie.
But I think most people that get involved in a proper martial like boxing, Muay Thai, or Jiu-Jitsu, or Judo, or MMA are sound individuals. But it's not everyone, but most people are sound individuals.
No, not at all. I mean, I remember back when I first started watching the UFC, so that's my phone, I'll put it on silent. Back when I first started watching the UFC, the local gyms were full of the local villains. They weren't full of the martial artists and things like that. I remember the top fighter in my area for a while was a guy who I know sold copious amounts of drugs. So, back in the day, they were villains,
But what would you say now? Would you say most of them are all right, or would you say that it's still a mix and match?
No, I say most of the places I've trained at and been, everyone's sort of like, they're on their own thing. They're on their own journey. No one's out there trying to be a bad man or a road man. I'm sure it's probably different in the city, right? I live down in Kent, so we're all fucking foreigners around here. But and everyone's just sort of on their own shit and concentrate on training and trying to get to that top level. I'm sure in other places you probably do get a bit of roadman activity in some gyms. I'm sure some gyms around my area which have chavvies like that in there doing that. But I mean, not in the environment that I try to put myself into when it comes to training. That's not what I want to be around,
But for the most part, what would you say makes a lot of these kind of gyms and most of the people in them sound?
Because it gets beaten out of you. I mean, I've always had a policy in some higher grades. I've always had a personal policy. When I'm on the mat, if I can see someone's being an arsehole to other training partners and things like that, if I'm sparring or rolling with you, I'm going to put it on you now because I've seen you put it on someone else who maybe didn't deserve to have it put on them. And you can be humbled really quick if you've got a 5'6" little fella grabbing hold of you and ragdolling you about when you've been in the gym benching 150, but now you've got this guy who weighs half that dragging you around. That can humble a man real quick.
I remember when I first started doing jiu-jitsu, I did it for the first 6 months or 3 months. I used to try and go a bit mad and I was a bit scared. But
you do when you start. There's a difference. There can be an excuse, if you're a white belt and like you're just starting out and you feel like you're drowning. There's a term we use. It's not a very PC term. I don't think we tried not to use it at our gym anymore. But I mean, the term is being a spaz. I always put it down to, if anyone ever tries to call me out on it, I go, no, it means spasm, as in muscle spasm, as in you're just muscle spasming on people. But it's a term in jiu-jitsu we use where if someone's new, that they just use everything they've got because they're a little bit scared and they want everything to go, so they start spazzing out. And it's common, but you can tell the difference between a spaz and a bully. Easy. And also, I embrace the spaz. Hey, come spaz on me, bro. I'll tap you out really fast, and then that will sometimes relax them. And I'm like, cool, now we can play a game. Or I'll tap you out once just so you know, and then it's just playing. Then I don't care. And then I'll let you spaz all over me, which sounds a lot more homoerotic now I've said it out loud.
Yeah, that's good. I think the thing that stopped me from spaz, I still need to work on a couple of things. There's still little mistakes that I make, but for the most part, I don't do that anymore as a 4-stripe white belt. Is when I started to get injuries and get beaten, and a few people put me in my place a bit, and then I kept going, and I actually enjoyed the art, and I see it more as, I mean, if it's a competition round or if you're in a competition, fair enough, but for the most part...
Oh, yeah. Comp's a different game. That comp's you're signing up for. You're signing up. I don't like to call competition matches fights. A lot of jiu-jitsu guys are like, "Oh, I've got a fight coming up." No, you haven't, brother. You've got a match. There's a big difference between a fight and a jiu-jitsu match. But you're not wrong in a competition situation, competition match. Yeah, look, you've signed up to potentially have your wrist and your ankle ripped off. Going to go a bit hard. That's cool. You can go hard in competition. But on the mats, you got to. There's ways you can be like horrible without spazzing though. Like I'm a horrible bastard sometimes, you know. I use my forehead under people's jaws to like get a bit of leverage and drive into people when their head's on the mat. It's not being an arsehole, it's just after all we are tussling, and I'll rub my chin against your ribs just to make you move so I can get a position. You know, there's some horrible little things that you can do without spazzing on someone, you know.
But there's there was someone said in my gym a week ago, they said it's better to have a black belt with bad intentions than a spazzy white belt.
I mean, yeah, I guess, because, I mean, well, I don't know, it depends how bad intentions they are.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that, because, I mean, I remember I was in the intermediate class, and this second degree black belt, he did some sweep on my leg, and I was injured for 2 or 3 days. But
god damn!
Because I didn't like balance right, and his technique was so clean. Like when I'm sparring blue or white belts, his technique isn't as clean. The other guy said I should keep doing the fundamentals for a bit, and I'm actually happy he said that, because now that I'm a 4-stripe, I feel more ready to do the intermediates and fundamentals.
That's good. I mean, the fundamentals are important. I currently run a beginner's class at the gym I work at. It's sort of like the class they've given me. I only recently became a black belt like last year, and our club has got 15 or so black belts. Yeah, there's quite a lot. And then other gyms in the area, if you've got a black belt, it's 8 times out of 10 you got a black belt from our head coach at our place. Okay. It's sort of like, you know, all confined in that area. And so, yeah, I've got that beginner's class. And I say, it's a no sparring class. I'm like, yo, bro, I've got a 12-week program that we run. And then once you're ready, head on up to some of the other classes. We don't say beginners have to do it. It's just there if you want it. If you want it, come in. We drill the same. We got a 12-week program, drill the same things 1 week, week 1, week 2, up to 12. And then we repeat and recycle. And I've got guys who are on their second cycle of it. And then they come back to me and they're like, oh, brother, I was in the main class and I hit one of the things we hit. And I'm like, yeah, sweet. That's exactly why we do it. It's exactly why I want that. You know, those classes are important. You've got to learn to paddle before you can learn to try and swim the channel, you know?
What was your journey when you did all these martial arts? Like for myself with the jiu-jitsu, I only really started hitting any submissions after a year in.
Oh, okay.
I got a couple of lucky ones, but I've only started to hit a few submissions here and there after a year in of doing jiu-jitsu. Yeah,
I mean, my journey goes all the way back to being a child. I was a very aggressive. So this is as my mother tells me. I was a very aggressive toddler. Very aggressive to where it got to the point where as punishment, she would have to strap me into the pushchair and turn me away from the other children because I was just feral. And so they, from a young age, went, oh, we need to find him something. And they put me in judo from the age of 4. And I did judo from the age of 4 to 13. With a little bit of time on the Kent team and things like that, competitions as a kid. But then from the age of 13, I found out that video games and going to live music gigs was a lot more fun. And the things that came with those live music gigs were a lot more fun than judo. And so I quit from about 13 onwards. That, and I had gained a lot of weight before that. And I went from being a little kid who was winning gold, to being a 13-year-old fighting 16 and 17-year-olds because I was such a fat because I was such a fat little fuck. That I just lost the fun of it, you know. I went from being a winner all the time to just getting smashed all the time, and so the weakness of my tween years went, nah, I'm going to pack that on the head. And I got big, even bigger, just going playing video games and going to live gigs, man. And it wasn't until I was about 21 that I took a job offer for a martial arts company where they were like, oh, you just need to go out handing leaflets for us during the day and you get free training. And I said to the guy in the interview, like, oh, so you're going to train me to be Batman? I was like, oh, fuck it up. Someone paying me to train to be Batman? I'll take that all day, bro. So I did that, lost a load of weight. I was at one point a size 46 trouser waist. I was a bit 6'5". That's huge, you know. Yeah, so, and then I lost all of that weight. Took I need to really turn it off. Took my first fight after training there for a little while. And this wasn't even a proper MMA gym I was training out with. I was actually training Kyokushin karate, which is like the hardcore style of karate. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's where they're bare knuckle, no punches to the head, but you can punch to the body as hard as you want, elbows, knees, but you can kick to the head, which at 6'5" was really fucking dumb because everyone was just constantly kicking me in the head. My legs were going nowhere. So I did that for a while drilling some jiu-jitsu moves with a friend of mine on the weekends because I had keys to the gym, and the owner was like, yeah, man, come do what you want, train when you want. So I brought in a friend of mine who had an MMA fight. He was a judo brown belt, and he taught me a few grappling things. And I took a fight off of that. I took my first MMA fight just off the back of that training. Yeah, I even went to the fight by myself with my gym bag. And my friend, who is a legendary friend of mine, I've known him since school, he just drove past me in the high street. He knew I had a fight coming up, but I hadn't told him where it went. But he saw me walk into the train station with my gym bag, and he went, I know exactly where you're going, bruv. Get in the car. I'm coming up to corner you today. And we just went up like that. Just me and a homie in his transit van. Took the fight, won it, and then I went, oh, let me take this seriously. And I went and found Combat Sports Academy, which is where I train and work today to this day. And yeah, that's how it all really started out. And you say about the submissions, man. My first ever submission when I started getting into proper grappling was a very lucky one. It goes back to me being fat. My first ever submission, I smothered a dude with my tits, and he
mother's milk.
Yeah, that's it. I got him good, and he tapped. Just like, that was disgusting. I looked at him, went, tap's a tap, bro. I got you.
Could someone actually use a bad smell to get someone to submit in a jiu-jitsu match? I mean, I'm sure there's all sorts of dirty tactics.
Brother, I tried it in an MMA match once. So I used to have to fight at a really light weight, 57 kg, which is flyweight. And I didn't know what I was doing when I was cutting down to that weight, like properly. And so I'd go for a water cut and things like that. And then my carbo load, my reload afterwards, I decided one of the carbo loads I'd do was I'd eat loads of granola because I liked granola, and I was like, hey, it's got plenty of carbs in it, forgetting the amount of sugar that was in it, and it would fuck my body up bad. I would end up having sulfuric burps, so I would burp and it would smell like a fart. It was horrific, bro. It was bad. It got to the point where there's one of my earlier fights, you can watch it, where my corner man comes over to my corner in the round, I burp, and it smells so bad, he leaves me in the corner. He's like, and walks out. And then on the way home, he went, hey, next fight you have, if you get these sulfuric burps, burp in his face. Yeah. And so I did. The next fight, I was holding him down, going for a submission. He was wriggling around a bit. I went, fuck this, and burped in his face, and he freaked the fuck out. It didn't get a tap, but it made him freak out.
But I'm sure there's all sorts of dirty tactics. They say that jiu-jitsu, I've spoken to a few of the competitors and all that. Like, but there's psychological things that go on in all sorts of combat sports.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember very early on. I think I was a blue belt at the time. I may have been a 4-star white belt, like yourself at the time. But I remember a dude got me in like the north-south position, which I'm sure you know. If other people don't know, it's very close to looking like a dude giving me a 69. Yeah. And I smelled stale piss through his shorts. And that was a psychological tactic. It worked on the opposite because I freaked out and was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. But hey, that's another one of those dirty tactics you can do. Going, Miyamoto Musashi did it. Do you know the famous swordsman Miyamoto Musashi? No, that's all right. So he was like, I'm a proper nerd about all this type of stuff. I've been for years, but he was Japan's greatest swordsman in like the sort of the Sengoku Jidai, which is like the peak samurai era. There's a famous book he wrote called The Book of Five Rings, but you've reminded me I've got to lend that to one of my students. He writes in that book, one of his tactics was that he used to turn up to duels stinking. Just to throw him off a little bit. He'd be like, yeah, I don't wash for days, and then I'll go have a duel. I'll turn up stinking and it'll throw him off. So I'm sure people do that, bro. I know in the Wild West days of MMA, people used to take, if they knew there was against a guy who grappled well, strikers would bathe the night before in baby oil.
Oh, yeah.
So your skin soaks up all the baby oil, and the next day when you start sweating in the fight, you're slippery as fucking, man. He can't grab hold of you.
Another thing, you've probably seen this a lot. I mean, one of the jokes in TikTok is if you do jiu-jitsu, you have someone joke and say, "Oh, come on my back" or whatever. And then another one where they say jiu-jitsu's gay or homo or whatever. But I'm just thinking, for doing jiu-jitsu, it'd probably be a good tactic if someone's that way inclined. Because if someone's getting, whether they be man or woman, if you're getting aroused through it, it'll put the other person off.
Oh yeah. I mean, sometimes you got to wonder: are they wearing a cup or are they just happy to roll with you? You know.
It would be. I mean, I've not experienced it and all that, but I was just thinking, they're making jokes about it and all that. But if someone's that way inclined, it would be a good tactic to put the other fighter off.
Oh yeah, or it might make you fight like hell.
Yes, maybe.
It can go two ways,
But if they get psyched out, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think what would my situation be. To be honest, I'll probably be freaked out, and then I'd be freaked out, and then I'd wonder if I then started fighting him harder, would it make him harder? And then I would be wondering if I beat him, is it now a hate crime? Am I being homophobic for beating this dude? So it's
exactly.
Either way, I'm losing.
Look at the distraction that would happen.
Yeah. And next thing I know, he's got me in 69 and I'm smelling stale jizz and stale piss, like, who knows with this dude?
You get to meet with the north-south choke.
Yeah, that's it. He's got me.
But it is like combat sports, and they do have a misunderstanding. Like jiu-jitsu.
Oh, totally.
I know that a lot of people, like Joe Rogan, you mentioned him like on the podcast, you say that it's the best martial art and all that. It is very good, and you can get very practical very quickly. But
yes,
I don't know what I'm doing with the stand-up game in terms of like throwing someone to the floor or like to do any striking. That is a hugely part that I think is neglected. If I got someone my size to the floor, then I could probably deal with most of them. But there are some strong bastards out there. But for the most part, but you have to get them to the ground for it to be effective, and that doesn't get spoken of enough in jiu-jitsu. I've seen it myself. Like, it is a great sport, and you get practical, but you have to get them to the ground first.
Oh, entirely. That's why I think it's so important to learn things like wrestling. Your freestyle. When I say wrestling, I don't mean picking them up like you're the Undertaker and putting them through a table, but I mean like freestyle wrestling. Like real wrestling. Collegiate wrestling, as it's known in America. I think that's one of the most important things. It used to be one of my favourite ways to train. I don't get to train it as much anymore because, unfortunately, when our wrestling class is on, I'm teaching a Muay Thai class, and then the other time the wrestling class is on in the week is usually one of the only nights I can get away with doing gigs. So, it falls in between. But it used to be my favourite. I used to enjoy it more than jiu-jitsu, the wrestling, because as hard as it was, wrestling's really hard, and it takes a lot of energy and a lot of athleticism. But as hard as it was, what I used to like about it is if they get you down and it's not a match, we're talking just training. If they get you down and they get a pin, then they get their win. Cool, I'm jumping back up and we're going to go again and I'm going to figure this out. Whereas in jiu-jitsu, if they take you down and they score that pin, I've got to carry on fighting from here and this is exhausting now.
But you need a combination of things to be a good fighter. I mean,
you've got to know to be able to strike. You've got to know you learn to box. I always say boxing, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu. You only need them three. All you need, I say this is bad to say as someone who teaches Muay Thai, but all you really need to learn from Muay Thai is how to clinch, elbow, and check a kick. If you know how to throw a basic kick, if you know how to box, I think boxing's better for distance management, head position, and things like that. I mean, Muay Thai is fucking fantastic too. Being able to head kick someone sick, throwing elbows, knees, and things like that is dope. But if you can box, wrestle, know jiu-jitsu, all you need to learn from Muay Thai is throw a kick and check a kick, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I've always thought that as well. I feel a bit uneasy if you're in a street fight throwing kicks around. What if you fall on the pavement or something?
Leg kicks. I would 1,000% recommend leg kicks. I don't kick above the waist anyway. Really, I only leg kick. I'm a short dude, man. I only kick people in the legs anyway. If I'm kicking someone, I'm either teeping them in the fucking bladder or I'm kicking you in the legs. And leg kicks work great. I've got a friend who, who trains. He's got a story of someone attempted to mug him and he leg kicked I don't know if they were a crackhead or whatever, but he leg kicked the chavvy, and the guy dropped to the floor, holding onto his leg, going, "You broke my leg, you broke my leg." And my mate just went, "No, I haven't," and ran away, which is perfect. You know what I mean? One quick kick, quick leg kick, we're done. See you later, bruv. So yeah, I think leg kicks are very effective in a street fight.
Can you pick the kind of people that like think they're hard or can handle themselves but have no clue at all when they walk into the gym? Because I've watched there's this guy on TikTok called Simba or whatever his name is, and you see all these ridiculous videos of these street fighters coming to fight him all the time, and some of them have had no training at all, but they come with supreme confident arrogance and aggression to go and beat him up. I'm not too sure if this is legal with him being a trained professional fighter, if he should be allowing these sort of people to come in when he's...
Hey, if they come in and sign the waiver, it's all legal, baby. No one's getting in trouble.
Well, they do that, but I feel a bit... Yeah, I feel, but he beats the shit out of them, and he gets huge views of him. I mean, I watch it, but it's.
Hey man, if these people are walking in off their own back and signing the waiver, fuck it. They're here for the rumble. They're here for the jungle. They're here to have some fun. It sucks that they've got the bravado that thinks that they can take on someone who's clearly well trained. I mean, it happens. But then you also get someone who comes in like that, and they've got that grit and they've got that heart that. You can keep hitting them, but they'll get back up and keep coming at you. And, in the end, you give them a bit of love too. Like, yeah, good on you, bruv. But, yeah.
And then there is CTE that will last for a long time.
Yes, there is that. Yeah. First-hand experience in that. So, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about that, bruv.
What has gone on with, like, MMA and all of that? Like, I mean, they got... Dana White is a real... he's just a money grabber, isn't he? I mean, you got the slap thing, and then the boxing.
Oh, that slap fight's egregious, isn't it? The slap fight is egregious. I can't get behind that, man. That's what are you doing that for? That doesn't know. No, that is haram, brother.
I mean, what you're gonna do? Your wife, you're probably gonna forget her name in a second, or like you're gonna even forget your kids with that sort of damage they're getting.
Yeah, slap fight is dumb. Probably the dumbest shit. But hey, man, people used to say worse things about the UFC back in the day. So who knows? I may be very wrong, but a slap fight looks dumb as shit to me.
So, being like a professional fighter and all that, I mean, for me, if I see...
it was a long time I never got to hit pro. I got semi-pro as far as I got. Getting to the full 4 ounce, I never got to the very small gloves. I was in the 8s. Sorry, a car backfiring in my neighbourhood. But full pro, I will make sure I say I never full pro, because I've got friends who have trained very hard. I've got a friend who moved up to Next Gen in Liverpool who trains with Paddy the Baddy now, and he's recently, he's an old training partner of mine. Check him out, Jordan Molinari. He fights on Cage Warriors, Slick MMA. He's very, very cool, very funny dude. And yeah, he's turned pro his past 4 or 5 fights, and I will never steal valor when it says it's coming to a pro fight. But I've plenty of semi-pro fights,
But you can fight quite well compared to the average person because of all the disciplines you've been.
I like to think so. I mean, look, my semi-pro fights. If anyone ends up googling them and watching them on YouTube, they're terrible. They're awful. They're awful. I was spazzing out myself and like just not listening to my corner, just but they were 12 years ago, and I've trained 6 days consecutively since those fights, 12 years every day. So I'd like to think I'm definitely a lot better than the spaz I was back then, But yeah, I'm not adverse to, I'm not unconfident in that situation anymore,
But you've trained and a lot of people, as you said, that are in the business. So
yeah.
For me, if I see someone with cauliflower ears, I'll keep my distance from them if anything happens. But they
can be a good deterrent.
What are signs that someone can handle themselves, and what are signs that someone's just being boisterous and thinks they're the big one?
That's a hard one. Because you got some people who hold themselves very cool, calm, and collected. I mean, most of the top fighters I know, the guys who I know, don't seem like the aggressive sort, but they do have an air about them. There's a look someone can give you where you go, okay, I know not to fuck with this dude. He's being cool, he's being chill, but I can see that it may switch at any time. You do get that. You do get that, definitely. And when it comes to the overly, but then again, man, I've met overly confident, cocky people who are fucking mustard. Guy I used to train with, he was a kickboxing champion by the age of like 16, 17, and he's a scary bastard who can grapple, who can kick someone's head in. And he is one of the most ridiculously confident motherfuckers in the world. He can be a bit of an arse, not an arsehole, but he can be a bit of like a cheeky arse with his jokes and the things he says and the way he mucks around and fucks around. You know, I enjoy him because I've been in that environment with him and I know he's fucking around. But someone else, you could definitely come across as an arsehole, you know? So it's hard to say. It's hard to say who someone's skills from the way they carry themselves. I think it's each individual to their own. I think, I definitely do. I mean, jiu-jitsu is great for weaponizing nerds. That's what it is. That's what I like it. I like it for that. You know, I'm a nerd, man. Like fucking, but it weaponizes us. You know, it gives us something, some sort of fight back. But to know someone's confidence level from other things, it's hard to tell someone's capability from how confident they might be. Or the way that their bravado they carry themselves. It's hard to say, man. I think everyone's individually different from it, you know?
Okay. But from what who are the people that you should be wary of then? From what you've...
Who are the people you should be wary of? Psychos.
Okay.
Like, due to, I'm trying to think, like, even if they don't know how to train, just nutters, man. Some people you can look at and go, oh, he's not right in the head. He sees right through me, and he's not even here. I'd be more scared of them, you know. I used to train with a guy sometimes who was a real villain. I won't tell you what his job was because it's not very above board, but he's the type of someone who once told me a story of him. Cutting the sole of someone's foot with a Stanley blade, then I'm talking real villain, and then force them to walk barefoot in a forest and dig a hole. Scary dude, really scary dude.
Whoa.
Did some sparring, terrifying. Did some sparring with him with a head guard on and some gloves, and he fucking moved about like a toddler. So it's hard to tell. You know what I mean? You can never really tell.
So, but basically, don't get into a fight.
The best thing, is avoid fighting at all times. And as someone who loves to scrap, I enjoy it. It's good fun for me. Just avoid it. You know, 9 times out of 10, I've had the confidence when I'm out just to be like, I talk a situation down. I used to do door work as well, and you know, I'd have some dudes who really started trying shit with me, and the whole time I'm just chilling and bringing their aggressiveness down with my calmness and the way I'm talking to them, and I'm like, I'd rather not. I've got training tomorrow. I've got to save my energy for that.
How did you used to calm them down when they're like, and I don't know about you, but me being a bit shorter as well, sometimes people are more likely to be aggressive to you if you're a bit short and smaller.
Totally. Yeah, totally. I used to just talk to them, man. Especially, I used to go very confidently, especially if I was doing door work, because you'd have the badge and that, and they'd be kicking off. And I remember one of the things, he was like he was an older bloke, but he was fucking up there. It was a big, scary chavvy. And I remember just saying to him, like, because he was kicking off at this event that we was running there, and I just kept saying to him, how can I help you, bro? What's really pissing you off that bad? Let me, I've got the authority here to give you a hand, give you a help. What do you need help with? Let's calm yourself. I didn't even say calm yourself down, but I was like, let's bring you back down here and let's chat about what we can do to make you enjoy your night, That's just the way I used to do it. I mean, another one, what was it? There was a dude kicking off, but I could tell he was drunk when he turned up, and I spoke to the barmaid and was like, don't serve this dude. She was like, oh, actually, I know him. He's just broken up with his missus of 6 years. They were their first ever loving relationship, and they broke up. So when he did kick off and I had to do something, I pinned him up against the wall, and I just got close to him and was like, hey, man, Hannah, the barmaid, I know you know her. She told me what was up. She told me everything you're going through. Let's go outside for a cigarette, man, and I'll chat to you about things. And I did that. instead. And he went outside. I gave him a cigarette. We stood there. We chatted about the world. We chatted about what he was going through. And then I was like, yo, get out of here, man. You got to get home safe, okay? Just things like that. Just be nice.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of videos online where you get a big stocky bouncer. He doesn't let someone in, and then a couple of like an hour later they come in and attack him.
Yeah, I mean that's fucked up, right? I've touch wood on all that sort of thing. That I've never been through that sort of thing,
But I'm sure you've.
Oh no, it's me. Sorry. I knocked on. It was me, honey. I knocked on the door there when I said touch wood, and my missus thought someone was at the door, and my dog started freaking out. That was my bad there. But no, I've never been in a situation like that. I don't do door work anymore either. So yeah, fortunately, hopefully nothing like that ever happens.
But I mean, with police officers, I think there's a thing they say that with the regular person will maybe have one or two traumatic things, but they say that a police officer gets about 20 or like double, like 10 times that in a week or something. And the doorman must be you must have dealt with tons of like weird and bloody
weird situations. Nothing ever too crazy. Odd situations, but I don't know. I think the experience in the training, where it was a weird time in my life when I was both fighting and doing door work at the same time. I think I was in a weird head space mentally that it didn't seem out of normal to me. It all seemed very normal. I would go training, go stand around on the door for a while, talking to people, trying not to get into something because I got training the next day. And it was weird time. I remember there was a time my mother came to visit me, and I remember hugging her a little bit extra longer than I usually would, because the only time I had interactions with any other human in a long time at that point was me being violent or them being violent with me. So I think I was in a weird space mentally at the time,
Okay. Yeah, no, I've never worked in a door as a doorman, and I don't particularly want to.
No, it's not. It's not fun. It's not. As soon as I had a car accident, I was like, "Well, I'm fucking not doing that anymore. I'm not putting myself at risk." Can I take 2 seconds? Sorry, I can hear my dog whinging. I've got to let her in. Come on then, sweet pig. Come on.
What's the name of the dog?
This is Sadie. This is Sadie. Little Sadie. Yeah, Sadie the Shih Tzu. Absolutely lovely little thing. Everyone who knows me and meets me, they go, "Oh, that's your dog?" And I go, "Yeah, she's adorable, bro." She's little and she's cute.
Yeah, I mean, dog. I mean, I'm guessing she makes you laugh a lot as well. She barks at the TV, funny things.
Yeah, she's got a great little sense of humor. I took her to a couple of gigs once, a couple of stand-up gigs once, and she was my first ever heckler. She would just stand at the edge of the stage whinging at me while I'm up there, and I'm like, "I'm trying to work. Leave me alone."
I had a weird incident a while ago where I got everyone a pizza at a gig, and there was a dog there, and I was gonna feed the dog the pizza, but then it started growling at me, getting aggressive. So I dropped the pizza on the chair, and then it was in the middle of the set, and then it goes in, jumps in the chair, eats the pizza. Yeah. And you know what was so funny about it? It acted like nothing happened, and it went back to the donuts. And people were
got mugged by a dog for a bit of pizza. Literally, it heckled and mugged you for it.
People were laughing at me getting shit scared of the dog, but I wish I'd recorded it, because it was quite funny in a way. And well, there was another time as well where I did comedy in French without knowing any French, and I recorded that, but I never really got. I asked a comedian to record it, and on their phone.
You can speak French to tell them.
Yeah, that's what. But asking a comedian to record yourself on their phone is probably not a good idea. I found just record on your own before you get on. But yeah, I wish there are two things that I've had done when I've been on stage that I would like to have seen on the video.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a really cool one. Trying to do it in front. I don't even know how you get started. Does it not just become at that point a nationalist impression of a French person?
It was very awkward in a way. I just thought I'd do it because it was. I was doing the Gaudier clown school, theatre school.
Oh wow! No way, did you?
Yeah, and then I thought I have a friend who knew some comedians in France, and I thought I'll give it a go. So I booked a gig there, stayed there for a couple of days, and I sort of give it a go. When I did it and everything, it was fine.
Did you graduate? Did you graduate?
Yeah, I've done the 1-year course, but I did.
Fucking cool, man.
And mentor too, but
I think it's very cool. I mean, one of my favourite people ever is a graduate of there, Steve-O from Jackass. I think he's great. I love the Jackass.
Oh, I didn't know he went there.
Yeah, well, he went to he went to a famous French clown college, is what I know. So I'm guessing it's there.
It probably is, yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. I love that.
But yeah, I did it. I wasn't scared when I booked it and arranged it, but the only time when I started to get scared was when I had the hotel and everything organised, and then I was getting closer and closer to the gig. And when I was actually in the building, I started getting nervous because I was like, "What the fuck have I done?"
I only know how to ask where the library is.
Exactly. Well, I knew the guy. We had a great chat and everything, and they weren't too sure how I was going to do. So what they did, they did the main show and they put me on last, and it was just. But the thing is, everyone knew English, so I don't know why.
Oh.
So
did you end up doing it in English?
I don't know. I can't remember. I think I did a mix of both. I tried to do some jokes in French, and the thing that got them laughing was I did the joke in French for about 10 seconds, and then there was a minute where I paused and I didn't know the French, and that's when people started laughing because oh, this guy's trying to talk French, and then and I just never recorded it. And then a French comedian said to me after, I just thought I'd let you know that it was very awkward.
Oh, thanks. I didn't feel it up there at all or anything.
But afterwards, I felt proud of myself of doing something that I was absolutely terrified of. But
the balls on you to do that one, bro. That's someone try to get me up speaking in front of a crowd not knowing the language, get fucked. I'm not doing that. That's tremendous of you to have done, man. Really cool.
But sometimes with other things, if I get put into something, then I'll do it. But when I think too much about something, I'll probably avoid doing it. But yeah, it's I don't know. You'll see Zoe, my Asian Zoe, later on in the month anyway. Show. But
your show. I'm looking forward to that. By the way, I can't remember the last time I was in Wimbledon. That's very cool. I'm very much looking forward to it.
I've got two guys who are good friends of mine on the bill as well, and they've also done
sweet.
Jiu-Jitsu. And one of them used to be an MMA fighter, but I think he would. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's an idea that I'm trying out. My show in Wimbledon, I only started it. Most venues in comedy are absolute fucking dog shit, and I hate the venues most of the time. But this one's good. I have to be honest.
Nice.
Comedians are what they are. Audience I love, but the show's been going quite well so far, and yeah, it's going to be intriguing to see what happens. I mean,
I'm looking forward to it.
The pressure of performing in front of people you know is a good and bad thing. I think it's a good thing. You need pressure. You need pressure. You need pressure.
I mean, you do. You need pressure to grow. You need pressure in absolutely anything to grow. It's one of the most important things. When it comes to comedy, it's amazing that you do that and you put yourself on that pressure. I used to run a gig locally to me, and yeah, it's difficult when you know most of the people. I mean, my favourite times to gig is when I know absolutely no one. You know, I like having maybe one boy in the room, one of my homies, one of my other friends who's a comic, maybe 2 or 3. And actually know one, and only certain ones. Because I hate bombing in front of other comics, even though we all do it. Yeah, I fucking hate it. But then there's 1 or 2 I don't mind bombing in front of. I can walk off and go, and they go, and mock me for it. I'm cool with that. But there's some where I hate to. Actually, I'd probably hate it less if they did mock. I'd like it more if they did mock it. If it's people, other comics who are my peers, and who I don't like to bomb in front of, if they mocked me afterwards, I think I'd feel better about it. I don't know why, because we can have fun at it,
Well, it makes it less of a big thing.
Yeah, that's probably exactly it, man. It's probably exactly it. Because we all get in our heads about it, and they go, "Oh, don't worry about it, brother. Oh, they wasn't giving you anything tonight, were they?" And stuff like that. Well, really, if we just go, "Hey, bro, you ate shit up there. What was you doing?" I'd probably find that more relaxing,
I'm going to say something a little bit personal here, and
go on.
like the sport of jiu-jitsu. One of the definite things I like about it is problem solving, and the second part of it is that it gets you used to failure, and not fear it as much. Number 3, it's it treat your attitude to things are different, like people's opinions or people if they like you or this and that go away with it because you're just trying. If a role doesn't go as you expected, like I made some mistakes yesterday, got armbarred, and I almost got footlocked. And it's one of the things that I've been trying not to do. I use a lot of spider guard, but I make the mistake of putting my leg a bit too far out. And sometimes I get caught with footlocks. And I didn't get caught with a footlock yesterday, but I got caught with an armbar. And I actually got out of it the first time he tried it, but the second time he got me with it. And it was a bit, I got so wound up.
Did he use the same setup as well?
No, it was a slightly different setup.
Oh, okay. Because I hate that. It happens to me all the time. I'm so dumb in the head that someone will catch me the same way twice in one roll, and I'm like, what am I doing? Well, and I set myself up into it the same way as well. Like I'll step in and I'll go for a move, and then they hit me with the counter. They've already hit me with once, and I'm so pig-headed. I go, no, I'm still going to go for it, bruv, and then I get tapped out again. It happens, man. It happens.
There was another thing as well. There's one of the guys in the gym who's just become a black belt, and he's a cool guy and everything. But now that I've become a fourth stripe, some people are going a lot harder against me, and he went a bit harder against me, and I couldn't do anything. Like he was just so. Sometimes you laugh at that moments where you're like, I can't do shit. And you just got to be like, right, try and take some notes and improve later. But it's so funny sometimes when you get less arrogant. Yeah, another thing, you get less arrogant about wanting to get into a fight when you see quite regularly that there's people in the gym that could do whatever they wanted to you, and you can't do anything to them.
Yeah. I mean, there's a guy who I train with, and we both got our black belt on the same day in jiu-jitsu, right? So he's a little bit bigger than me, which isn't hard, and he's a little bit stronger, but he is also a judo black belt as well. And he wipes the floor with me. And I love him. And he's a great guy. We have some good roles. But a lot of times I go, well, let me just see how long I can defend until he gets me. And make it each time it takes him longer and longer to tap me. Which is an old mentality thing. I tell white belts, like, hey, man, go in there. And if there's someone you have a tough roll with, just next time you roll with them after that, make sure that you lasted longer than the first time, you know. And I'm doing it now as a black belt to another black belt who got one at the same, who got his at the same time, you know. It's happened. It's part of the game, you know. It's all about your self journey. You know, one of my favorite songs is Most Def, I Against I, because that's all it is. That's what comedy is sometimes too. It's me against me.
And the second thing, it gets rid of your bullshit. If you're annoyed at work, or if you have you just let it out in there. And another thing as well, it's just you treat things. You don't take things as seriously. If you made a social mistake, or if you made a mistake with a decision, you treat it a bit like a role. Like, oh, I moved my arm too far there, make an adjustment. Yeah, you take things less seriously. Oh, okay, get the result. I made a tit myself. Okay, I'll make this adjustment. And it teaches you to do that approach to life rather than get too into your head, too down about stupid things you've done.
Which is one of those parallels I said earlier about, you know, when we were chatting before we started recording, which was there's so many parallels between doing stand-up comedy and training jiu-jitsu or MMA or anything like that. The parallels are they work so well together. You know, you said about the confidence thing. I mean, I don't mind bombing on a stage because I'm not up there in front of 1,000 people with someone trying to kick me in the head. I'm in a room for about 50 people and no one laughed. Okay, cool, whatever. It doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah. It's great for that, and like the Gracies for creating the sport and the stuff that it does to people. I've seen like Matt Made where one of the guys in the gym talked about being on drugs and how it got him out of that. It's an addictive sport in itself because there's endless problem solving and there's always different things added to it. And there's an encyclopedia of never-ending moves in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it doesn't stop. Like this, one of my head coach says. He's like he's in his 60s and he's like, yo man, I love it because I'm learning something every time. And he's like, I've got a different challenge every time. He's like, you know, I've got older and there's kids who I've trained since they were, you know, actually he's trained so many different generations. But he's like, look, there's, and it's happening with me now because I've run the kids program there. There's kids who I taught when they were 4 years old. Now they're like 17, 18, and they're getting their strength and they've been training since they were 5 and 4. And I'm like, oh no, what have I done? What have I made? He's really trying to kill me. And yeah, you got to learn now. I've got to learn how to figure out them boys and not let them fucking catch me. It's always something different. It's always a new way to follow a new way to solve a Rubik's cube. You know.
And another thing as well, and one of the guys when I first started said the good thing about jiu-jitsu is it makes you jacked. But I mean, there is elements of it's true. Like I look like I used to be really flabby and like parts of the arms and everything like that. But when I look in the mirror now, like, bloody hell, I look way different than I used to.
Yeah, and it makes you just feel confident about yourself, you know. I mean, like I said, I spent my entire teenage years as a really fat bastard. And I'm probably lowly, you know, I've spoken about it with my partner before, so we're both pretty sure I've probably got some form of body dysmorphia, because I'm constantly like, yo, I'm so, I look, but for me, it's got to the point where now I'm like, I don't even chase having abs anymore, bro. That's one of my training partners. He turned to me and he was like, bro, because I know they're under there, you know, but after I've had a few too many beers and a pizza, they ain't popping out anymore. And one of my old training partners, he was like, Sam, we're in the later part of our 30s now, but we're still training, we're still on the mats. Abs are for boys in their 20s and otters. You know, we're neither of them, bro, so just keep going and doing your thing. You feel happy in your clothes? Crack on. And I was like, yeah, cool. That makes sense.
What's that I hear about Muay Thai guys? I remember watching an episode of Ultimate Fighter with George St. Pierre, and then there's this guy called Jean Charles.
Jean Charles is the man.
Jim used to train with, and says that he used to follow the Thai routine of getting drunk at 4 a.m. and then till 2 a.m. then waking up at 4 a.m. and then going to the gym, and yet still kicking the shit out of people. I mean,
I love that shit, man.
He doesn't look strong. Like he looks like he's just a fat old granddad. Dad, and he beat the shit out of them so easy.
I love that, man. That's my favorite shit. There's one of my favorite fighters of all time is Sakuraba from Japan. And people used to say that they'd find him outside the Tokyo Dome during the Pride era, the Pride FC days, and they'd find him outside the Tokyo Dome smoking a cigarette before he was out there having a fight that night. I'm like, yeah, fucking that's a geezer, you know.
Was he the one that beat a lot of the Gracies?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they called him the Gracie Hunter. I absolutely love Sakuraba, man. I think he's the man. Kazushi Sakuraba.
Why aren't there? It would have been really interesting to see him fight the main man. Yeah, they arranged it, but then never happened because wasn't Rickson supposed to be the top of all of them?
Yeah, man, Hickson's pretty cool. I like him. He's a bit of a myth, you know. There's only a footage of some of his fights. And they created this myth that he was undefeated and all of this.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
No, of course not. But then he never fought Sakuraba, and Sakuraba smashed all of the Gracies. So, I mean, the Japan-Brazil rivalry goes all the way back to Helio and Kimura, doesn't it? So it's a really important thing. And unfortunately, being a bit of a weeb and a nerd, man, I'm going to be voting for Japan in that little feud all the time.
Well, I mean, I hope, never mind. A few people in my gym, do you know Mauricio Gomez and what's it called, Roger Gracie? Well, what's the question to ask you? No.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, Roger Gracie would sort Sakuraba out, though, I think.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it depends. Did Hodger do MMA? He did. Yeah, he did briefly. I don't know. It depends. If it's an MMA fight, I might put it on. And we're talking Sakuraba in his prime, not Sakuraba now. Okay. You know, Sakuraba now. Yeah, he's an old man. I mean, we saw what Shinya Aoki did to him. That broke my heart. But yeah, I don't know. If it's Sakuraba in his prime, I might still give it to him.
But yeah, I love the sport of jiu-jitsu. I'm glad that I've got into it because it's good. I used to be a complete people pleaser. Now it's turned into like I'm a 5%. No, I'm like a 95%, but there's this 5% of less people pleaser, and I don't know. It's changed me for the better, and yeah, there's a lot of great people that I meet. It's not perfect because I don't know about you, and there are people that in the gym that are probably going to listen to this as well. But, the one thing that I don't like about sometimes about comedians or about jiu-jitsu is sometimes people take themselves too seriously in it, and I feel that it can get a bit too cliquey.
Yeah, man. I mean, comedy can be bad for that. Jiu-jitsu, I think, where I've been in it for so long, and I've been doing it for like around it so long. I've learned to take myself out of any clickiness that's gone on. I know it's there. I know it's there. I know it exists. I know there's clickiness with different members and different gyms and things like that. But I'm really good at taking myself out of that when it comes to the world and like the jiu-jitsu world and the MMA world. And I just go, hey man, my hands are tied for the gym I work at. They make those decisions and other things, stuff like that. It's not on me. I'm just here to train for myself, you know. Comedy, it's a bit harder to do that because I'm so much newer in the game in that.
Yeah.
I've managed to avoid it though. You know, I gig a lot frequently in the London crowd and the London scene and stuff like that. And yeah, I noticed that there's different cliques and groups, but I think what benefits me there is I'm from Kent, so I can weave in and out and go, hey everyone, I'm not from around here, so I'm not part of your north, south, east, west clique or whatever it is. I'm just here. I'm here to hang out with all of us, you know?
Yeah. I'm going to try and do my first tournament for Jiu-Jitsu this month.
Awesome, no way. Whereabouts, man?
So there's two, I think there's the All-Stars and there's Grappling Industries. So it's a bit...
I recommend All-Stars. They're both great competitions. They've got both great competitions.
Well, I'm going to... it's a bit late for me to apply, but if there's space, I'm planning to do it. Because I went to the IBJF one in London. And it was brutal. But I just think that I'm not doing it to win or anything, but I just want to see where the gaps are. And I just feel sometimes when you're doing the jiu-jitsu in the club, most people just do it, you know, you're trained to a certain level, but you're not trained to kill each other.
Yeah.
For my self-defense wise of things, it would be a good thing for myself.
I get that. You've got to you know, harness that ability and look into that and learn how to control that. Because a big part of it is not freaking out, I guess. Like I said, like 12 years ago when I first started to fight, I was really bad for switching my brain off and just and going in like it was reckless. And in fact, one of the kids I used to train, he turned 17 recently and had his first K1 fight this weekend. And in the first round, he probably lost the first round. Because he went out there and did that, and then the other instructor from my gym just yelled out to him, "Relax, relax," from the corner, and he heard it and just went, "Oh yeah," and relaxed, and then suddenly was just moving around like he's Floyd Mayweather and popping shots and landing really clean shots, and then after that he only got hit once for the remaining 2 rounds because he suddenly realised, oh yeah, I should relax. You know, it's such a key part of it. I think Hicks and Gracie, we spoke about him earlier, his book was called Breathe. So he did the documentary Choke, and then, which ironically is a lot about breath control and breathing, and then released his book Breathe, because the breath control and learning to relax in both comedy and in martial arts are so important, especially martial arts, so important. And comedy too, just learn that you're in the moment for a reason and to relax and go with what's going on and have fun with it.
If you're too tense, it stops you from doing anything, doesn't it? It stops you...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It stops you saying things. It stops you, you know, you start second guessing yourself. And the same, if you second guess yourself in jiu-jitsu, you're fucked. If you second guess yourself in comedy, you're now umming or ahhing on a joke, you know. I could have made a really good joke about spousal abuse at the start of this podcast, but I stopped myself because I overthought about it.
It's probably better you didn't. No, I'm just... One thing that I have found, some of the things that are going on nowadays is people taking themselves too seriously and getting offended by things that, like in my workplace, they say all sorts of racist, borderline things, but they're just the way they are. I know this, I shouldn't accept it. It's a bit iffy, but if I choose to get offended by every little thing that's said or done, I won't be able to get out the door. Like and
you've also got to wonder where it's coming from. Like, is the I'm trying to think of the word. I'm really lost for the word right now. Is the intention for it to be mean, or is the intention for it to be, hey, look, I'm just fucking around. I'm actually trying to get a smile out of you. Intention is everything, you know.
Most of the time at the workplace, it is it's intention. No, it's all not intention. I meant that it's more to just camaraderie. But if I chose to be offended or like was some of the things do get a bit much, but
of course.
But if you choose to be offended and let it,
yes, I mean, it's easy for me to say intention is everything when I sit here as a white guy. You know what I mean? It's so easy for me to say that. So easy for me to say that.
But if you let every little thing that irritates you make a big deal out of everything, yeah, how do you? I probably wouldn't survive in the workplace.
No, no. I mean, you know what? That's probably an aspect you've learned from jiu-jitsu because you've had to learn to find comfort in discomfort. That's a lot of what jiu-jitsu is, like, in my opinion. It's learning to find comfort in discomfort. Sorry, I reached down to give the dog a pat. She's whinging at me. Finding comfort in discomfort is it goes alongside that as well. Situations like that, as well as fighting. You know.
Yeah, definitely. The dog agrees.
Yeah, she does. She does. She's having a proper whinge at me.
Would there be dog jitsu? Dog jitsu.
Oh God, no! Because you can't. They can't lift their arms up. It's bad for them if you open their arms.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's really bad for dogs to their top front paws. I'm a little bit of a dog nerd too, but don't open your dog's chest, guys. It's really bad for them.
Wasn't there like some big viral thing where they said, how many men would it take to beat a gorilla? 10,000 or something like that. Do you believe that 10 men, 100 men could beat a gorilla?
Just one of me, bro. No. I think we're already beating them, aren't we? Have you not seen what we're doing with deforestation? All you need is one peanut butter factory, bro. Do you know what I mean? One peanut butter factory, and we've fucking taken out that gorilla like it's nothing. You know what I mean? Domino's Pizza has taken out that gorilla right now just from its use of palm oil. Gorilla ain't got shit, man.
But that's a good way to answer that question.
I mean, what's he going to do? He's not building anything, is he? He's running at me.
But if you had 100 men, do you think they could take down a gorilla? I'm going to ask the stupid question.
Just straight up without the peanut butter? No, of course not. Come on now, bro. You know what I mean? We're getting slaughtered. I'm team ape all day. Apes together strong. You know, team ape all day.
That isn't that a quote from Caesar in the Rise of the Planet of the Apes?
Yes,
I'm not doing the apes together strong. That may be misconstrued in the wrong way.
Well, I watched all of those movies in one plane ride, and it changed my worldview on everything. I am Monkey Man now, you know.
I think they're all good. I even like the new one with the lady.
Yes, when it's they all get it's. Yeah, there's like no humans in it, right? And it's all just about the rise of the different clans and the eagles, the monkeys.
Yes. Yeah,
I loved it.
That was good. And the actress actually went to a place that I used to work in. And it's a place that a lot of people, how I started jiu-jitsu, because they used to come to the place that I used to work in.
She's in The Witcher as well, isn't she?
Yeah. I used to love The Witcher with Henry Cavill, but not as it is now.
I didn't give it a go. I haven't given the newer one a go. It was my missus who got really into it. She played the game. She wasn't just perving over Henry Cavill, even though I know that's really why we had to watch it. But but yeah, as soon as it got whoever the actor is now, she was like, "Nah, I'm done watching that show. We don't need to watch it anymore." I was like, "Oh yeah, big fan of the series, are you?"
No, they're a fan of him.
Yeah, of course. But no, it was when I was watching the film on the plane, I noticed her. I was like, "Fucking." What the fuck is Siri? But it was good. It was good. I love the Planet of the Apes movies, man.
But yeah, no, it's a great sport. I can't. Yeah, and the people in it are great. And another thing as well, bloody hell, they're loaded fuckers. Every time I go into a jiu-jitsu thing or mention it, like there's a. I don't go to this gym, but there's a place called Armour, right? And it's £230 a month. It's got. Obviously, the training's really good. He's got Fifon Davies, that world champion. Got a few other world champions, but my God, 200 something a month, and then they got their own private workspace. They got a gym stuff.
Jesus.
And then the people, if you can afford that a month, it just goes to show that the gap between the rich and the poor is getting bigger and bigger. And then the place I go to costs £100 something a month, but it's the people in jiu-jitsu are rich fuckers. I mean, they got
that's something I've noticed with friends of mine who've trained in the city. Like, obviously, you're Wimbledon, right? Yeah, like people who are training up in London, they tell me the prices of a jiu-jitsu gym, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ! Like, down my way, it's not that expensive. Not as expensive. It's expensive. It's not that expensive, you know. It's my gym. It's under £100, and you get unlimited classes, and you train as much as you want.
Bloody hell! I wish my gym was that price.
Hopefully the boss doesn't listen to this because then they're going to up the prices.
Oh fuck! But yeah, it is. I don't know what it is, but yeah, jiu-jitsu is a very rich sport, and I looked into it as well. Like judo is a great martial art, which it doesn't get any credit.
I did it from the age of 4 to 13. It's fantastic. I think it's great.
Really, it's brilliant. Fan. And most fights start standing.
Yeah, yeah. Although I always say, you know, one thing I noticed when doing door work or just being out on the town myself and having a few drinks, you'll notice that all street fights end up in some sort of clinch. They might not hit the floor, but they always end up closing the distance and in some sort of hug. Oh, when I'm describing clinch, like Muay Thai clinch to the kids I teach, or like even wrestling clinch to the kids, to anyone actually. It's not just the kids I say this to, but apart from the safety of the fighters, yeah, and doing count outs, what's the main job of a referee in a boxing match, a straight boxing match? What's the main job of the referee? What does he tend to spend most of his time doing?
Oogling men fighting. No,
he ends up, most of the time, what the referee in a boxing match ends up doing is separating the fighters from a clinch. Yeah. Because they end up hugging and they end up against the ropes and leaning into each other. Because even in a fight, at the top level, the highest level, where the rules are only to hit each other and keep your distance and hit each other, you end up closing the distance and in some sort of clinch or a hug. And then that's when your judo and your takedowns and your groundwork comes into it.
Okay.
That's why I always look at it.
If you were to say in terms of effectiveness, would judo and wrestling be more effective than jiu-jitsu because of that?
That's tough. Wrestling maybe. Judo, I don't know, because it's so grip and trip based. And not only that, the only bias I say with this is because back when I did judo, you could do leg grabs and takedowns, grabbing hold of people's legs, much like in freestyle wrestling. But they took that out. The Olympics changed that, and you can't do leg grab takedowns anymore, which are really vital. And you can do those types of throws and takedowns in wrestling. And you can do hip throws and any sort of judo triple throw in wrestling as well. And then, hey, once you hit someone with the planet and you pin him down on the floor, then even a monkey can slam its fist down with someone. You know what I mean?
Even if it's sand or whatever, or if you with the throws they have in judo or wrestling, they're gonna hurt and cause damage, no matter, even if the surface is soft.
Oh yeah. A good wrestling takedown and landed properly fucking hurts, man.
I hope I don't have to witness it soon. No, I mean I've had jiu-jitsu takedowns. I mean I'm when I've done some of the sparring intermediates and they have me standing, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just throwing shit, and then I get sometimes it does hurt a bit. I mean,
yeah. Does your club have wrestling classes or like takedown classes or anything like that?
So I'm not a blue belt yet, so I can't do it with the judo guy yet.
Oh, okay.
They used to have wrestling, but I think he teaches somewhere else now.
Okay. That's one of the annoying things with clubs is the instructors moving around and that. That tends to happen.
Is that a common thing? Because I know that in the place that I used to that I train in, there's a few instructors that are no longer there that used to be there.
Yeah, that happens. I mean, I think in the 12 years I've taught at my one club, we've had various different instructors, different boxing instructors, other jiu-jitsu instructors, different. Actually, no, the guy, one of our main coaches now, he used to run a wrestling class, but now we've got a very good wrestling instructor. And not that our old head instructor was a great wrestling coach, but now we've got like a guy who's 3 times national Albanian champion. Is now our wrestling coach. He's fucking mustard. Emmanuel, he's very, very, very good. But coaches move around, people change. You know, once you reach a certain level, some people want to go off and start their own thing, which I think is completely understandable from a personal level. As long as you don't sort of, when you leave, you don't try and nab people from the place you were brought up and the place which gave you your black belt, you know?
But that happens would you say that happens every 2 or 3 years that the instructors change?
Well, I don't know about 2 or 3 years. I've been an instructor at my place. I've ran the kids program for 12 years. So I don't, is it 12 years? No, 9 years or 8 years. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that common. It does happen every few years or so, but I wouldn't say every 3 years or whatever. And like I said, I think since I started since I've been there training at this place for 12 years, only 2 other jiu-jitsu instructors have left. Yeah, and that was just for them to go start their own thing.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of money in it, so I'm not surprised.
You know what I mean? Like, people are making money from it. I went with the missus to the Philippines this year. She's half Filipino, so reform coming in power. I had to take her back there, get the paperwork done early. No, that was a joke. But so I went back there with her, and we was in a beautiful island, and I found an MMA gym because I thought maybe I'd do a little bit of training, and I noticed that even though they advertised themselves as an MMA gym, they only had a boxing and a Muay Thai coach. They had no grappling coach. They had no jiu-jitsu black belt. And bro, if it wasn't for me having this little dog right here, I was sitting there like, oh, hey, yo, maybe I can teach and move here,
Yeah. I mean, no competition. Tons of you could really charge.
It was a very touristy island, a beautiful paradise island, which was very touristy. Backpackers and everything out of the yin yang, they would have been everywhere. Finding if you're a backpacker, you probably got that little bit of money that you might even spend at a jiu-jitsu club when you're back at your home country. You turn up and there's one black belt on the island. Fuck, you're gonna go train with him, aren't you?
If anyone's listening to this right now, why should they take up a practical martial art rather than one that doesn't work? And why should should comedians take up martial arts?
Yeah, comedians take up martial arts because then you can say whatever the fuck you want and you can give it to any heckler. No comedians. Comedians should not start martial arts because I want to be the only Brazilian Jiu Jitsu black belt in the game. Start it, man. It's good fun. You should start it because it will stop you drinking as much. Which it didn't. It did the opposite. No, it was comedy that started making me drink more. Everyone should start it up, man. I'm a firm believer that I think jiu-jitsu should be in schools. I think wrestling should be in schools. Fuck it, let's bring back boxing in schools. I've got brain damage from fighting. That's why I started comedy. But yeah, man, I think everyone should train. I've got friends who and ex-students who've trained under me, and they've moved to another gym or something like that, and they chat to me that, it's just a bit easier for me being this because it's this new gym's closer to my home, and I always stop and go, bro, you don't have to explain yourself to me. I'm just happy you're training. As long as you haven't just quit and you can't be bothered anymore, cool. If you're training, I'm happy. I think it's one of the most important things in the world. And why should you train one that works over the one that doesn't work? Proof's in the pudding right there, right? One works and one doesn't. You know which one you want to use. But at the same time, I know exactly what you're saying. Why not go for one of these, Wing Chun-y, karate, kata ones? Is, hey, look, if your mobility's bad and you're an old boy who doesn't like the idea or body doesn't think that he can handle a little bit of grappling, cool, man. Go practice your kata and wear your pajamas in front of the fucking mirror. But if you've got think your body can move and you can be a bit physical with it. Actually, fuck it. Even if you struggle with it, you should give something like grappling a go, man. And then to bring back Miyamoto Musashi, I mentioned earlier, one of history's greatest swordsmen. In his book, he says that you should have a hard Zen and a soft Zen, right? So our hard Zen would be our jiu-jitsu because it's so physical. So grappling and really taking a hold of each other, being very physical, it's difficult. And our soft zen would be joke writing because that's your art, that's your painting, is what he used to do. So hard zen and soft zen, man, we all need it.
Okay. And for anyone, what made you get into the comedy game, and what advice would you give for anyone that wants to be a comedian?
What made me get to? I mean, I always love comedy. Like every year for Christmas, my mum would always get me a comedy DVD. One of my favourite family memories from my childhood, was me and my mother's birthday are quite near each other. So my father was like, okay, we'll joint birthday present. We'll all go see Lee Evans live. And it was incredible. It was absolutely amazing. So I've always been into comedy, but then I think one of the reasons I got into it, I'm a big rule of three guy. 3 weird coincidences happened among each other. which made me want to do it. But one of the main reasons is one of my very early fights, I actually got up kicked in the jaw and I bit through my tongue. My head snapped back. Yeah, it was really bad. But the guy who did it to me now fights in the UFC. So, I helped him on his way. And he helped give me a bleed on the brain, I found out years later. Which was shocking. I didn't know at the time. He did it. I was throwing up blood afterwards. I thought it was just, blood from my tongue. I went to see the medic after the fight and she was like, you got to go to the doctors. And I was 21 at the time, so I went, I've got to go out with the boys and have a few beers and have a few smokes and just call it that, bruv. So I did that instead. And then there was some problems the next day and like pain in my head when my heart rate accelerated. And years later, I was doing a first aid course and was discussing what bleeds on the brains were. I described the exact situation to the guy taking the course, and he looked at me and went, yeah, you had a bleed on the brain, bruv. You 1,000% had that. And it made me realise that, I've got to find something which is an exercise for both my brain and my word I'm looking for, my vernacular, I guess, my speaking. So would it help now? But I have to find something that exercises both my brain and my speaking at the same time. And what better thing than that than comedy?
Oh, okay.
And that's really how I got into it. And then I just started gigging from there. I had a love for the game. Already knew little tricks and tips just from like listening to other comedians and reading their books and things like that. Already knew some of like the little tricks that they use with callbacks and the rule of three, which are the most basic ones. But I knew them before I even got started. And then I started writing jokes based off of that, playing with different techniques, reading books about writing. And then I fell in love with it and was like, it's so much fun. I've been very lucky in some situations that I've landed in with it, with other comics. Dave Baptiste is someone I chat to. He's very cool and he's helped me out and really pushed me along the way. My boss at a promotion that I work for now, the Comedy Mansion. We're coming actually to London soon. We've got a big show August 19th at the London Cabaret Club, 500-seat venue. We're really pushing this thing. I also run a podcast from that production, one of mine called the Comedy Mansion podcast. We've had huge guests on that, like Simon Brodkin, Diesel, Dane's been on it, Adam Deacon from the kidulthood and adulthood movies. So I've really lucked out on some of the opportunities I've managed to get from comedy. And the only advice I can give for it is write every day, write as much as you can, and be nice. Like, fuck the drama and the cliques that everyone else is going through. It's just nice to be nice. And that's the only way I've managed with the opportunities I've got with, because I chat to people on a real level. And so I try to anyway, Yeah.
Yeah. That's great advice. Just be regular and normal and polite.
Yeah, just be nice. It's nice to be nice, man. Like, be cool. Like, don't overly do the nice, because I'm bad for that too. But I'm going around in the smoking area sometimes to comics who I know don't smoke. Like, would you like a cigarette, pal? Just because I'm trying to get people to be social and hang out.
Now, you've mentioned it, but is there anything else you'd like to plug?
That was pretty much. I did. That was a very cheeky plug. I didn't even realize I was doing it. But no, that's pretty much it. I've got going on at the moment with everything, man. Like, come check out the Comedy Mansion stuff.
Okay. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed it. This episode will go out this weekend, and the next episode is going to be with Sandra Battaglini, who is making waves and a difference in the Canadian comedy scene.
Very cool.
And after that, I've got, who else have I got? Andrew Ellard, a sitcom writer. I've got all sorts of different guests coming on. And then I'll be in the Edinburgh Fringe doing the live podcast.
No way. Which venue do you doing that out of, man?
The Braw venues. It's very expensive, definitely too much, but they're a lovely venue. I should be saying that. Getting myself troubled up. But yeah, it's going to be a lovely live show. I'll be there for the full month. Pop down.
That's one of my favourite cities in all of the United Kingdom, not just for the month of August when the Fringe is on, but any time of the year. It's one of the most architecturally beautiful cities I think we've got It's clean. The history's cool. It's just a really nice place. So I might have to convince the missus to go up, and we'll come watch one of your live shows, man.
Yeah, definitely do that, and make sure I'll get you both you and your missus a deep fried Mars bar.
Ow.
Yeah, Sam, thanks for coming on. I hope you guys have enjoyed him, and I'll see you guys at the next episode.